Just before lunch, I wanted to get a video in to show some of the assembly for Leon's engine. I had polished this rail. They polished half of it, and the two screws pretty good. So you'll get to see a little bit of that with his blue and how that's going to turn out. I'll polish both of them pretty good. This one's not quite done, but I got the highlights on it. And I started on the edge. We'll do some more. The other thing I wanted to point to was the mounting for the smoke. His particular chassis only had one hole drilled in it, and what I did was I have a boss that fits down into that hole here. You see, when you have the second hole, we use that with the standoff. I enlarged the diameter of the standoff because he didn't have a hole, but I enlarged it so that it was a tight fit going down into that hole, so that when I put this one screw in the front, the smoke is held snug. I've remade this piece for him for that tight piece fit, and I also changed the smokehouse fitting. I'm using a threaded brass insert, and this is a 256 thread, which is pretty darn small, I know. And then I have a pair of screws. I use hex head cap screws. I just like them. Worked in aerospace a little bit and I got used to them. At any rate, I gave plenty of depth for the head, so it's sunken in there. You can see it, right? The other one is hidden by the adapter. So I got cap screws on both. Okay, I'll be right up. And I got a real nice tight fit with it. I got a nice tight fit with it here, and it's held at the right angle, the right depth for the body and all that good stuff. I also went ahead and started to put on the engine off of the mule that I was using, my old engine. And I have a new gear, you'll be happy to know. I finally printed them in black. So I can use the ball bearings and the gear, and all I have to do is paint the white stripe. And we'll be putting that on and then tuning this sensor so he gets the good pulse for the smoke. And he's got the big maximum magnet sizes that I can put on here. And this is a non-Pullmore armature. I may try a few and see, it's easy to do which one works the best. But I got the spacing just about right. He's got just enough clearance so it's nice and free to move, not too noisy, not too flippy-floppy. Haven't run this yet, but I'm pretty confident it's going to run as it did before. I might remove this to put the smoke back on. It's a little easier off the engine to do that. And I just wanted to get a fit set and make sure everything was okay. I did test this in the engine and it does fit. I have not tested this fit with this new potentiometer, but it will be, I might make a new lid because this is going to be flush mounted anyway. It's going to be down on it, so that will be a little tighter. This bend will be a lot tighter, and that heatsink will still be there, but it's going to be uptight. So probably be a new PC board for the lid, and make sure I use the exact same parts. I don't want to have to go through that setup again. And I'll just calibrate the potentiometer for his, or I may take the voltage and put in a real resistor. I may just save this one for test and setup stuff. In any case, that's what I got done this morning. Started to transfer parts over from my mule to Leon's engine, his Royal Blue, his version of the Royal Blue. And I would do test fitting as I go along, and also test operations, make sure the sensors are working, all that good stuff. In background, I'm working on the software side and the power sources for the soundboard. I have a new set of rectifiers to test out. These are 4 amp rectifiers. They're a little more robust. I do have a 6 amp one if it gets to that point. I even have a 25. I thought I would try one rectifier for the whole engine, and then everybody can pull from it. I don't know if that's going to create ripples or not. I did get another device in the mail. This is a buck boost board that includes a digital meter. I think I'm just going to use this for test and setup purposes. I'm not sure if I'm going to need it for the full installs or not. The other thing that I got was a new battery charger chip. I don't know if I can get this out or not. Lunch is ready. I already got the highlight. I can't get it out. My hand's too goofy. Very dry all of a sudden. But this is a tiny board, but it was highly recommended by a couple of guys, and it gives you a 2 amp, 5 volt power. I'm coming! To charge the battery. So you should not have a battery problem using this particular charger. So if I feed it with something like that, it'll get a constant 6 volts or so. He brings it down to 5, but he's still pumping 2 through, and that should improve the operation of the WeMOS to the maximum that we can get it. And I'm working on the software side to improve that operation, and we will get puff and chuff, I know. We will get the whistle and the bell, I know. And I'm working on a station announcement, and I'm working on an all aboard. How those get invoked, I'm still thinking about how to do it best, but we're not sleeping and we're not stopping. We're just regrouping and doing some of the basics. This fitting this up and putting these parts in was a little bit of time consuming. I had wanted to do this for some time and I hadn't done it yet, but they went in nicely, got them nice and flat, nice and straight, everything bolted together real well. This fit perfectly. It's the same basic engine, the exception of that screw hole, and since I had the depth designed properly and the diameter enlarged, there's a snug fit here and one screw holds it tight, doesn't pivot, doesn't wiggle. It's going to be just great. So I'm all excited, and I did a little shine job on that rail just to let you know how things are going to look with that blue. It's going to be like blue and chrome. I think it's going to be sharp. Okay, got to run for lunch later. Thanks.